The purpose of the visit was to get an understanding of the Canadian political system, but also to share ideas with our counterparts in Canada.
It was also an opportunity to meet with First Nations people and Indigenous peoples of their country to see how they're impacted, trying to navigate their way through the colonial and political systems of their country.
One of the highlights was going to Ottawa, to the Federal Parliament, and having a look around there, both in terms of the Senate but also into the main House of Parliament. It was a really good opportunity to meet a number of MPs and senators and also speak to a number of select committees.
I absolutely loved Ottawa. I was quite stunned by their parliamentary precinct. They are going through a rebuilding process. It's actually what was once an outdoor area that they've managed to roof in and add seating in, and it's just quite an extraordinary place to be.
I got to host a rainbow get-together of LGBTIQ+ members of Parliament over in Canada, New Zealand. We banned conversion practice, and we actually followed some of the legislation that Canada passed in their Parliament. But more importantly, we also talked about the other ways that we worked collectively as Rainbow MPs in New Zealand.
Another highlight for me was talking to Indigenous leaders and also parliamentarians about the Truth and Reconciliation Project in Canada. Here in New Zealand, we've had our Royal Commission of Inquiry into abuse in state care and abuse in faith-based institutions. And in Canada, they have been working in this area now as well. We were there for Orange Shirt Day and able to participate in that.
I found that really uplifting, and so Canadians themselves were able to have a more empathetic conversation around the impacts of the Truth and Reconciliation Day, the Orange Shirt Day, which was focused around the children who lost their lives in residential schools.
One of the meeting highlights for me was being able to meet the Council of Chiefs in the Ganawake territory, and it really put into perspective where New Zealand is at with its treaty settlement process. We swapped information, we swapped ideas, but it certainly gave us a lot of perspective in that space.
It was a real honour for me to be able to speak at the launch of Senators for Climate Solutions, which was launched in Ottawa when we were visiting, and just again to be able to share the common experiences between New Zealand and Canada and how we're working to reduce our emissions.
There's a huge amount of benefit that can be gained in terms of bilateral relationships between our two countries, establishing relationships that we can continue into the future.
I really believe that an experience like this for our professional development as members of Parliament was incredible. Not only to go over and speak and share insights with other like-minded people, but also to spend time with colleagues from other parties.
We're all here for a common purpose, and that is to try and do our best for the constituents we serve, and that we're all trying to learn and understand.